Rotorua tonight on City News. Police assure locals that they can feel safe in the CBD after the Perceptions of Safety survey revealed people feeling the opposite. Chamber CEO says finalists in the Westpac Rotorua Business Excellence Awards represent a diverse range of local businesses. And Buck Shelford and Hika Reid bring All Black magic to Saturday night's hospice fundraiser. The latest Perception of Safety survey results are out, with 82.3% feeling Rotorua is a safe or very safe place to live. However, there was an increase in people feeling unsafe in the CBD, especially at night. But is this just perception or reality? We asked local police, who said crime rates in the city are dropping and locals can be assured of their safety in the inner city.
That's right. In reading the Perceptions of Safety survey, it was disappointing that there was a slight drop in the perceptions around the safety. We've actually got a continual reduction of crime in Rotorua for another year. It's concurrent for the last 3-4 years now. We've seen a significant reduction in crime, so people can feel safer in our town. Which is a great result for Rotorua, and I think over the last 3-4 years it equates to about a 25% reduction in crime overall, which is a terrific result. And the other thing that's working really well for us as well is the liquor licensing, the new legislation around the sale and supply of alcohol. And that's having a big impact on alcohol consumption and sales in Rotorua, as it is throughout the country. But we're seeing a much safer environment at night, with less drunks out and about, which is really encouraging. People still need to be safe, keep themselves safe in the CBD by thinking sensibly and doing common sense things, not to go out by themselves perhaps at 2 o'clock in the morning if they're, feeling a bit fragile, but common sense approach, and we're seeing a big reduction in our nighttime offending. So again, a good result for Rotorua.
The finalists for this year's Westpac Rotorua Business Excellence Awards have been announced, with more than 18 local businesses vying for an award. Chamber of Commerce CEO Darren Walsh says finalists represent a diverse range of businesses.
Oh look, there's lots of benefits. I mean, being able to say that you're a finalist in the Westpac Business Excellence Awards is great kudos, and for that we allow all our finalists to put a logo on their letterhead or their emails to say they were a finalist, and it's just the showcasing of their business leading up to and I guess the talk and the speculation that goes on as to who's going to be the winners. So there's great benefit. They come through the judging process and they get great feedback. Even those that haven't made the cut as a finalist, they come out with some great feedback about things they can do in their business to improve.
The Black Tie Awards presentation and dinner is on Friday, October the 3rd. For more information, call the Chamber of Commerce. In sport tonight, Western Heights High School girls football team is buzzing after again playing in a grand final in the National Secondary Schools football competition last week, held at the International Stadium. Coach Phil Parker says it's the 3rd time in 4 years the team has played in the finals. A big achievement, he says, that takes commitment and passion.
Yeah, the girls are hugely proud, and the messages going between them this week on Facebook and Snapchat and Twitter and all of that sort of stuff. Some of the messages have been very, very teary, really. So yeah, I think in the end they really achieved something that I don't think they could have at the beginning of the week. So yeah, again, hugely proud.
And Rotorua Hospice is bringing back Buck for a special All Blacks Legends fundraising dinner on Saturday night. Hospice funding manager Jan Morgan says personality Keddy Woodham will host the evening, which promises funny and insightful reflections from All Black legends Buck Shelford and Hika Reid. Tickets are on sale up until midday tomorrow, so contact Jan to book your table. To your weather update now. Tonight, drizzle at times with northeasterlies and an overnight low of 9. Tomorrow, Friday, showers turning to rain, northeasterlies, a high of 15 and a low of 12. And looking out to Saturday, rain with the chance of heavy easing to showers, northerlies easing, a high of 16 and a low of 8. In the marine forecast for Lake Rotorua for Friday, northeast rising to 20 knots in the evening with waves up to half a metre, showers turning to rain in the evening with poor visibility. Remember, for program listings and other info, check out our website tvrotorua.co.nz, and you can look us up on Facebook. Still to come in tonight's program, we're at the decommissioning ceremony in the Government Gardens for the Canadian totem pole gifted to the city last century. And Kitty Danielle sits down with Waiariki candidate for the Internet Mana Party, Annette Sykes, to talk campaigning and party policies.
City News has arrived just a little bit earlier to say goodbye to the Quagga-Luth totem pole that was donated to the Rotorua city by Tony Hunt.
Kia ora koutou everyone, and what a glorious day we've got here to bid farewell actually to a significant piece of our history. And I'd really like also to acknowledge all the council staff who are in attendance here as well as visitors. This piece has been with us for 25 years, and a gifting of a piece of art is always significant because it carries an enormous story with it. And the story here is from Canada and from the native peoples there, and a master carver, Chief Tony Hunt. This piece was started following a forestry expo and was gifted to mark the 150th anniversary for New Zealand. And that's a significant marker, and the story that comes with this piece is now coming to its closure. And it's really important that we mark that with the greatest respect for the work that has gone into this piece, the love and aroha that came with this, and that this is about closing that loop and acknowledging the time and the effort and the energy and spirituality that this piece has brought to our region and shared with our people.
Mark, can you please let us know the history behind the totem pole and how is it that it's standing here today?
Well, it's way back in 1990, or maybe even a little earlier. Chief Tony Hunt, the carver from British Columbia in Canada, started working on this piece in Vancouver, and he brought it over to finish it at our 1990 Forestry Expo here in Rotorua. And once completed, it was gifted to the people of Rotorua from the people of Canada to celebrate 150 years of New Zealand.
And so now we've got a decommission, or it has been decommissioned, but that would have been quite a lengthy process, because I'd imagine you just can't make a decision and then turn up with the hacksaw and then chop it down.
Well, it wasn't inherently an easy decision in any case. It's quite a special, well, obviously there's a connection there with our Canadian people, the spirit in which it was given to us. 10 years ago it had extensive restoration, and obviously the rot had started in the centre of the Western Red Cedar back then. That same conservator, Jack Fry, reassessed it last year, and its days outside were over. And other than patching it up and painting it and making it something that it really wasn't intended to be, it was time to let it go.
And so what's the letting go process? I know we had a farewell ceremony today to say goodbye, but then what happens after today?
After today, our parks people actually have a meeting about that tomorrow, about the most appropriate way to put our totem pole to rest. And it seems that we'll plant a Canadian redwood or similar, so that the spirit may live on, if you like. It seems most appropriate.
And whereabouts will it be planted?
I couldn't give you that answer right now. I'm the arts department, but it will be somewhere, I think, special and appropriate.
And do you remember this being here as a young child, and have you ever climbed on it?
I looked at it, well, as a child, maybe not, it's only been there 25 years, but no, my first real up-close meeting was with, it was a year ago when we assessed its condition. Always been aware of it, but never really the story. And having connected with the galleries in Canada and Chief Tony Hunt and his wife, the Canada High Commission, and some of the people that were around 25 years ago working for council, the story starts to come to life, and so that's something I'll carry with me now. I've come to know the piece, and its energy, and it's quite difficult to let it go. It really is.
So some of the stories that have come out would have been of those younger ones who have been climbing over it, I'd imagine.
Well, must be before my time, but I'm sure there's been a lot of engagement over 25 years, not from just our young people too. Yeah.
So how long are we going to see it here for? Is it 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then it's removed?
No, I think now that we've decommissioned it, it's time to move on and let it go. It's been 12, 18 months to see this process through in the appropriate way. There's historic places, there's Ngāti Whakāwai, town plan, council, committees, Canada High Commission, the artists, and so on and so on. So I think we're at a place now we need to move with some deftness, I think. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for stopping and having a word with us. It was quite nice being here. It was a good turnout, actually.
What a lovely afternoon to say goodbye to a very special piece. Yeah, I'm so pleased, and I'm sure the artist will be as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Kia ora everybody, it's my pleasure to be joined now by our mana representative for Waiariki, Annette Sykes. We're here at the office on the corner of Amoho Street. Lovely place with some seats where you can come and sit down, have a kōrero, have a bit of a kai, and also you can go and vote if you need help getting out to vote this election. If you perhaps don't have a car or can't get there on the day, then they are offering a ride and a kai and all kinds of support. Kia ora wātu koe te rangatira.
Kia ora, Kiri. Lovely to see you.
You too.
I mean, 10 days out is a lot of work for us to do, but it's been an exciting campaign, this one, and I think as it all comes together in this last 10 days, I'm hopeful that we can achieve what our objective to is change of government. Kia ora.
You've been doing a lot of door knocking lately. What's the response been out there on the doors?
Well, I've just returned to Rotorua, but I've been door knocking in Murupara, Kawarau and Whakatane for the last 4 days, and huge support. Everyone wants a change of government. There's an overwhelming desire that the National Party is not returned, and so there's a lot of thinking going on about how that would be achieved, and I believe the message of my message that this is a strategic seat which requires tactical voting has resonated, and for the first time I've seen a lot of young ones, the poor, absolutely getting it, that their circumstances can be changed by a change of government. Today has been a great day. We've just picked up 30 people from one area, just 3 or 4 houses, and early voted. I'm not too sure who they're voting for, but we're just helping anyone who needs a ride, whose circumstances don't permit them to easily get to town. And we're lucky that we've had 4 or 5 vehicles donated to us for the next 2 weeks, and some bro drivers and some sissy drivers to take people from the suburbs into town and straight back to their houses after they voted.
It's a very visible campaign in the Waiariki. You can see you're everywhere, and it must be comforting to be able to offer that service to people. What is the general mood out there in the electorate as you see it at the moment?
I think there's still a number of undecideds. This election is provoking deep thought amongst all age groups. I think they want to change a government, and they've got a number of smaller parties that offer some really good people. I think I'm lucky that because I'm the only woman's voice, that a lot of women are thinking, well, maybe we can get a woman into Parliament. But, if we go to the general seats here in Rotorua, you've got Fletcher, Tabuto and Tamati Coffey, 2 brilliant young Māori men. I think Tom's paling against them. They're both gorgeous to look at, but they're both passionate, and so I think the general seat is now hotting up as much as the Māori seats. And in the Māori seats you've got the co-leader of the Māori Party, myself, and Rawiri Waititi, who's John Tamihere's son-in-law. So you've got this interesting battle, and I think our people are not overwhelmed by choice, but they can't say that they haven't got enough choice, and they're just working out how and who to give the vote to change the government.
Some of the recent polls that came out, what was your take on those?
Well, they weren't recent. That's the difficulty. They were taken before we'd even launched as Internet Mana. You know, all respect to the Māori television service, but they're obviously strapped for cash because the kind of polling is reliant only on what they call landline results. And like you go to most other polling groups now, there's the mix of cell phone, a mix of internet questions, and a mix of landline. And that immediately raises some questions about the polls. And I believe it's going to be like last election. They'd use the same methodology. They were right off on the Te Taitunga outcome. It was expected that the Māori Party would hold that seat, and of course she came a distant second. I think the same thing is happening in my electorate, and also with Te Hāmua Nikora and Ikaro Rāwhiti. And what gives me that belief is that we've just done all these meet the candidates. Now, Te Hāmua had one last night in Hastings, which is meant to be Mecca's stronghold, and he won the debate, and there was a straw poll of those present, and he won it overwhelmingly. And I've been doing a couple of meet the candidates, a couple of grey power ones, and a couple of ones organised by the business associations of our district, and I've been polled to win in those ones, which really surprised me at the grey power one, to be frank, in Kawarau. But you know, there is a growing need on the ground, and poverty is in the top of the issues for most people. You know, the old people that I listened to last week at the 2 grey power meetings, they can't pay their power bills, the rates are crippling them, and they've got real problems with getting caregivers, especially family members, remunerated. And you know, when you listen to these stories, and I know that Mr. Super Gold Card's hard to beat, but they actually want more than just a personality like Winston. They want an ear on the ground, and they want some real support. And so those meet the candidate meetings and those kind of polls give me comfort that the landline poll approach only is missing a beat, missing the heartbeat of Waiariki, Ikaro Rāwhiti, and I expect Tai Tokerau too, because that hasn't actually happened at the moment.
Kia ora, Annette. Come back after the break when we have a chat with Annette about what she's doing in the community that is walking the talk. Kia ora, welcome back. We're here again with Annette Sykes. Annette, we've just been talking a little bit about what you're doing in the community, the way that the campaign is going. I'd like to have a talk now about what you're doing on the ground that's actually making a difference in people's lives, even before you've been elected.
Well, first of all, Kiri, can I thank you for early in the campaign, you made us go and clean the rubbish off Mount Nongataha, and we're completely opposed to ecological damage like that. And the last 2 meetings that I've been at in Ngāti Awa, I've identified where some of the poison sites are in Kawarau for the effluent discharge that happened from the paper mills. And I've developed a policy with the help of the Internet Party to look at removing those poisonous sites, replanting them with alternative vegetation to which absorbs those poisons from Papatuanuku and take them out. Now that's a practical one. I was really excited in Whakatane to meet with Maisie Rika, because she is completely opposed to a marina development. I wasn't even aware of it until this campaign started at Ōpihi Whanaunga Kore, which is just down from one of the most sacred marae in Ngāti Awa, but it's the landing place of the Mātātua Waka, and it's really sacred, and they've got a cycle path that's gone through it. Now this marina, we've made it really clear we will be protesting on that, and we had a bit of a trip there to kind of put in a post so that we were really clear that we supported Ngāti Awa's efforts to prevent that. As part of our campaign 2 weeks ago, we launched our privacy policy against spying, and we did that at Rātoki. And it was really, really well received, because we understood that notwithstanding an apology from the Crown, my family in Rātoki aren't happy, because they were particularly affected by, none of them were arrested, but the ones that were in the houses or stopped on the cars and made to feel like they were terrorists in their own valley. And women didn't accept the apology. And so we developed a great policy, which Lila and Horne came down to announce at their marae, to seek a compensation commission. It's no use just having an apology, and to set up a Royal Commission of Inquiry into spying, not just for the ones at Ratoki, but the 88 individuals that were privately, wrongfully spied on, which we know included Mr. .com. He got an apology, but the other 88 haven't. So we're wondering why that didn't happen. So that was a practical one. And then my members, you must know them, Bernie Hornfick's one of the most inspiring one. He's got 15 gardens in Rotorua, and he's been taking kai to the community centres and feeding the poor. And he just does it, he doesn't want a big song and dance, but we've incorporated what we've been doing for the last 3 years into our policies, and we want gardens now everywhere. One, to help with climate change. One is a practical strategy to eliminate poverty, but one is about transfer of skills. And can I say that in Rotorua, there are some honeys, they're darlings, little old ladies that come out on their Thursday nights and they do these big, beautiful meals, 3-course meals for families that are struggling. And they do it without any thought of thanks other than a need to give. And I'm really respecting the way that they've fed families, and they've been helping with recipes, transferring to people that are struggling. And that's what I think Mana's helped. We provided the kai, there's the sense of loving. A lot of them are people from different churches, and then those that are struggling at the moment feel included and looked after and cared for. And those are the values that guide Mana. And so for me, that's the practical expression of what we do.
Well, the Feed the Kids bill, the Feed the Kids policy is beautiful, I have to say, and something that I can't think of any good-hearted person would have anything wrong to say about that. In Rotorua, how many children do you think that could change the life of if that came in?
It's 1 in 4. We don't have to go, it's 1 in 4 children in our city are suffering, and on the door knock I've seen it. And at our functions we try and have nice healthy food, lots of soups, lots of breads and lots of sausages, because to come out to a function, it's obvious that even that bus fare, even that $3 is eating into their weekly budgets. But Feed the Kids they love it. Have you seen our billboards, a dream where we have a cycle of luxury which replaces a cycle of poverty. And our billboards has really resonated with people, because they don't like to be called downtrodden and poor either. They just need to be recognised that they're struggling. Struggle Street exists.
When you're struggling, you don't want sympathy, but you do want somebody to understand, and you do want somebody to help you if at all possible. And I think one of the beautiful things about people that go through hardship is that they have amazing resilience, and that in itself is special.
Kia ora.
So, kia ora rawatu koe, Annette. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kitty. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
That was Internet Mana Waiariki candidate Annette Sykes talking with Kitty Danielle. Don't forget, if you have any news that you'd like to share with us, give the station a call on 07 3488 984, or you can email news@tvrotorua.co.nz. Thanks for joining us tonight. Pumaria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.